What are the different methods used by the product owner to help prioritize the backlog and make decisions?
Yeah, the order of the backlog is super important, and it's important that the product owner does that. So first and foremost is what's valuable. Okay, if there are high valuable things to the customer, there's like an 80-20 rule in most software products, and I would argue in a lot of products, non-software products as well. Most of the value is going to be derived from a minority of features. So if a product owner can figure out what are those key features that the customers care the most about, let's bring those to market soonest or higher to the product backlog so that...
How exactly would they do that? I mean, if we were going to get more tactical, how are we going to know which ones are the highest priority for the stakeholders?
That's a great question. I mean, first thing you could do is you can go to ask them, right? I like getting in with stakeholders one-on-one and just showing them my product backlog and saying, where would you disagree? What would you prioritize? What would be, your most important thing? I'm going to get different answers, but now
Sure.
I can synthesize those and make different trade-offs. How would you try to figure out what's most valuable?
I was just going to bring up, like, if you've got multiple stakeholders, which is a common scenario, or I've got 3 different people. If I go to Johnny, Susie, and Ralph and I say, hey, give me your top 10, I'm going to get 3 different top 10 lists. And then I got to figure out which one I'm going to work with. And so what I find is the best is if I can bring Johnny, Susie, and Ralph all into the same room, show me their top 10s, and then have an open discussion about the trade-offs and benefits of Ralph's versus Susie's number 1, and maybe as a collective group we can come up with some general idea as to what might be the most important of all of them. There are some techniques such as value scoring that you can do, where some sort of a ranking system where, I don't know, there's a million ways to do it. Imagine you have 4 t-shirt sizes and you have each of them look at all of the 30 backlog items and score them where they think are the most valuable, and each one gets a turn, and we can look at the answers.
Yeah.
Collectively, we might very quickly discover that, hey, this feature we all really, really think is important. These nice to haves, even though this is Susie's number 1 and that's Ralph's number 1, they might end up in nice to have categories in the grand scheme of things, like when you compare them to other more important things.
Right. Well, and what we're talking about here is still in the realm of predictive measuring of what is valuable. I mean, we're still basing this on the opinions of stakeholders. I would argue even better than that. I mean, you might have to start there, but layering into that as soon as you can is experimentally figuring out what is valuable to users. So, build in analytics, release small increments, and, maybe you don't fully build out a feature. You just build out the first, 10% of it, and then you build out the next 10% of another feature, and then you do some analytics and see where are your users actually using this product, what's important to them, where are they spending most of their time, or where are your reviews, what are they mentioning, things like that, figuring out what's really important to your customer. So, getting those different ideas from various stakeholders, both predictively, but then actually analytically, I think are both really important.
And one thing I'd add to that is if you've got estimates from the developers already, it might help your stakeholders to understand a little bit more about bang for your buck. If I see that, oh, hey, my number 1 feature is going to cost $40 million to build, and I know that's never going to get approved, that might impact my decision about how important that is to me.
Yeah. So value and cost should probably figure into the product backlog order.
Definitely.
Sounds good. All right, you know the drill. This is YouTube after all, so this is where I ask you to click the thumbs up, click the subscribe button, hit the bell, or whatever else YouTube's come up with these days for you to get our videos delivered to you. Or even better, in our description below, there's a link where you can get these videos delivered straight to your inbox.
Did you know we teach Professional Scrum courses? If not, check the links in the description for information about how you can join one of our Professional Scrum courses and hang out with us.